parts are overbuilt, overdesigned, so you, the end consumer, can just go have fun. You know, all of our suspension product line, the resounding theme behind it is drivability.
I can wheel any of the hard trails down here, get back on the highway, set the cruise on 65 miles an hour and drive with one hand.
We came out of Cane Creek the other day and drove 75 miles an hour down the highway all the way home. Not a shimmy, not a shake, nothing in it.
I seen this Jeep going down the trail and ahead of us, and I said to myself, I gotta have one just like that.
You drive here to a place like Moab from Denver, Salt Lake. You know, some guys drive them 1,000 miles, and they wheel all week, and they pack their stuff up on Sunday morning, and they drive them home. And when they get home, they unload their stuff, and they drive them to work on Monday morning.
A few years ago in South Dakota, I had the good fortune of being rained off of the trail one day. Because of that, we spent the rest of the day running around town, having lunch and things with Bob and Mary of TNT Customs. Ever since then, we've been friends, and Bob and Mary have met up with us on various occasions at different four-wheeling events. And I started seeing the quality and durability of some of their parts, and that's why I've purchased some from them. I'm kind of a do-it-yourselfer, and I really click with Bob, and I really like the way he thinks and the thought and durability he puts into his parts.
Let me just start out. So I've never had a Jeep before. I went on to a Jeep camp in South Dakota. I seen this Jeep going down the trail and ahead of us, and I said to myself, I gotta have one just like that. And I ended up with it. I farm. I only buy quality machinery. I seen how this vehicle worked, and this is the top of the line, like if you want a Cadillac or do you want a Volkswagen. This is a Cadillac of Jeeps.
Every one of these Jeeps, they wheel all day long, and when you get on the highway, you can take your hands off the wheel. Running next to BMWs and Honda Accords with their, drinking their coffee and going home.
I'm from North Dakota, so there's not much rock crawling up there, so 98% of my driving is done on the street. I can take this vehicle to the Black Hills of South Dakota, Colorado, or even here in Moab, wheel the hardest trails and be back on the street driving just like a brand new Jeep. It drives and handles better than a stock Jeep does. The TNT suspension system on this Jeep LJ, I can wheel Pritchett, Rusty Nail, any of the hard trails down here, go down to area BFE, get back on the highway, set the cruise on 65 miles an hour and drive with one hand. It's a great product. I'm very pleased with it, and I definitely recommend it to anybody that's in the suspension market right now. This is the 5th suspension system I've had on this Jeep. I've had everything from a budget boost to quality short arm kits, and then some not so quality long arm kits. And this is definitely the best suspension for crawling, articulation, handling, street driving. Like I said, this Jeep is probably 98% street driven. And I can come out here to Moab or the Black Hills and wheel with the biggest Jeeps out here. And I can drive home with one hand on the steering wheel.
A good friend of mine got me into this sport about 15 years ago, and I started with a CJ7 with 33s, and we tended to spend more time wrenching on it than we did driving it. And he upgraded to a Rubicon, and then I built an early Bronco, and things were going pretty good. And then he met Bob, and he had a very large JK built, and we could no longer keep up with him. No matter where we went, we were breaking stuff. We were the guys that everybody was waiting on. So I figured I'd go out and buy an LJ, and it was already modified. It had a different suspension on it. Everywhere we went, it was incredibly tippy. We had to strap the front end to the frame to keep it from opening up so far. When we climbed steep obstacles, we'd lose traction with the front tires. Driving it down the highway was it was a lot like a death trap. It was like driving a boat. Cavitated all the time. It was horrible. We ended up having to trailer it to every trail we went to. So Kelly talked me into going and seeing Bob, and we made an all-day trip to Cheyenne, dropped it off, and Bob said he'll have it ready for you in about 3 weeks. And after multiple texts and phone calls and checking and double checking things, we went up, got the Jeep back, and I'm absolutely amazed. We run trails down here now for 7 days straight. I haven't turned a wrench on anything. We came out of Cane Creek the other day and drove 75 miles an hour down the highway all the way home. Not a shimmy, not a shake, nothing in it. Absolutely perfect.
It's a confidence in your suspension, in the product, because we've done all the homework and put all of the design and the beef, if you will, into the part, so you don't have to worry about it.
If you're looking for a suspension system, I highly recommend TNT Customers.
I would suggest anybody who wants a Jeep that they can drive on the highway that performs absolutely flawlessly off-road in any situation that I've had it in, and we've done a lot of trails this week, I would suggest anybody go see Bob at TNT Customers.
Our products, overbuilt, overdesigned, give you confidence.